Hi guys, George here. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk because things might get a little confusing here. I recently learned from the creation team that I missed a side quest with Helvana because I used the Sanctum Shout while in Stonesong Grotto and moving the main quest along before leaving the dungeon for the very first time. And for the sake of completion and wanting to make sure that I get to see most of the content in Bards College expansion, I'm reloading a previous save in order to play that side quest. However, at the time of recording this specific segment, I had already recorded and edited parts 7 and 8 in full, and even part of episode 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that side quest now, and the next couple episodes that you watch will be those original recordings. But I will, off-screen, quickly replay through all of that to get back up to where I was. But with that side quest now completed. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But really, this is just what I get for thinking that I'm being smart and using the Sanctum Shout to hopefully save some time.
Ah, there you are. I see you found the sword. Well done. But before you leave, a moment please. There's something I'd like to do here.
You eavesdrop, you follow people? Yeah, what is this? Did Sledrig send you?
No, I came here for my own reasons. Actually, I've come here before, but was unable to enter. Thankfully, you have opened the way. It may now be possible.
Tell me of your purpose here.
Some years ago, I found a journal that belonged to Sledrig. He wrote of this place. He once called it home. It's where he found and refined his resonance crystals, and where he made other discoveries. Before you joined the college, before you said you would help kill Fulgafsanan, this was a task meant for me. I was to be trained, as you have been. Learn the skills that you've been taught. But I am unable to produce a Thuum. I was not fit for purpose.
Poor Helvana.
However, I believe there is something here. Something that Sledrig once thought could help give to me the power of the voice. I would like your aid in finding this thing. I want to be able to shout. I want to be useful.
I feel so bad for her. You read a journal belonging to Sledrig?
Hey, it's not like I was snooping.
Well,
It's not my fault if an old journal got mixed up with some history books. Maybe I should have stopped reading once I realized what it was. But what Sledrig had written down, he was talking about me. About how my training wasn't going how he had planned. About how he was disappointed.
see, this is casting a whole new light on Sledrig now for me. I was being trained instead of you? I didn't realize I had replaced you.
Don't worry, it's not as if I'm angry at you. You can't replace something that was never there.
I feel so bad
I'm
for her.
glad you came along. From everything I know, Fulgafsanan is quite dangerous. I can understand why Sledrig wants the dragon dead. I just wish I could be of more use.
You are useful. Don't sell yourself short.
That's kind of you to say. I'm not sure I believe it, but it was kind.
It just pops up the emissary quest right here, and I just have to do heartening, enigmatic, dramatic, you know? Of course, I'll help however I can.
Thank you! You know, I'm not entirely sure what it is to have a real friend. I'm not sure I've ever really had one. But I suspect that you come close. Again, thank you.
I have a feeling that we're
All
not
right,
gonna
follow
teach her how
me.
to shout.
I think what I searched for is this way.
Like, I recognize that she's not gonna learn how to shout from this, but man oh man, I just feel so bad for her. I want to help her as much as I can. Is she gonna know what to do with that fourth crystal up here that I never really figured out what to do anything with? Oh wait, is she gonna take me to the phantom form shout? I just should stop guessing. I should just follow her at this point and let her tell me what we're doing. What if that's why Sledgig wrote the journal I found in there, in a different language, so that Helvana and others couldn't
Here,
just read it?
This is it. It must be. I just have to stand here and...
Mm-hmm.
And...
Uh-huh. you don't know.
Why is nothing happening? The journal made it seem so simple. I just have to stand on the platform. Why is it not doing anything? I'm so stupid. Why did I think this would work?
Yeah, what was meant to happen?
I don't know, When reading Sledric's journal, he seemed to think if I were to stand here, and he was to do... something, then... I'm sorry. This was just a waste of your time. We should leave.
No, you said he would stand here and do something. I'll do the something, I just need to know what it is. I found something. I think it might explain what we need.
Really? What did you find? Another journal?
I did. Here, look for yourself. And fortunately, we already got the tablet that decrypts some of this, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, no, this isn't in the dragon language.
I think this is it. Some of it is cryptic. But right here, it mentions what the platform was used for. Fascinating. This was the final step in creating a resonance crystal. Sledric would place a crystal on the platform and then... imprint it with his soul? Is that what he thought would help me? Imprinting me with the soul of another?
Oh, we're just sharing souls now? Tell me, truly, is this safe for you?
I don't know. It seems Sledric thought this might be dangerous. That it could harm me. That is why he chose to not pursue this. But this is my decision, and I am willing to take the risk.
Well, what does this process do?
With the resonance crystals, it seems this helped fortify them, granting them a stability, so they could hold a shout without shattering. I suppose I can see how this might help me. Perhaps allow my body to better hold a shout, maybe? Does that make sense?
It kinda does? Yes, I'd like to help. Can we use my soul? Are we sharing souls now? It's a little romantic. I feel bad because, well, technically Olvis hasn't said anything yet, but Olvis might have a thing for you.
I think that could work. It won't hurt you, I know that much. In his journal, Sledric mentioned he had done this many times with no ill effects.
I mean, he lives forever.
If you are willing, I would like to try.
He can take those risks because
There is
he's
another
gonna live
platform somewhere
forever.
in here. You'll need to find it, then stand on it for this to work.
Is it gonna be this down here with all the rubble on it? So here's my guess. I hope I'm right with this. Can I use Earth Song to clear this?
All right then.
Okay.
Now,
I knew.
how would Sledric do this?
I'm very happy about this. I
Some
love
kind of...
some of the utility options that we have, you know? So... what if I just shout at her?
Any ideas?
I just shout at her. She's like, what was that for? And then she just tries to kill me for it. Fusroda? Oh, wait, just one second and then Fusroda.
You might as well try something. It hurts! Stop it!
Okay,
Please!
I shouldn't have done that. I feel really bad now. I did just fling her against a wall at Mach speed. I probably should have used a different shout. I don't know why that was my first thought. Of all the shouts I could have used, that was maybe not the best one. Yeah. I may have broken her. I may have destroyed her. What if I shouted you with Dragon Rend? It won't do anything to you. You're not a dragon.
You might as well. I think it's working. I can feel...
Okay, see, this is better in a way.
It hurts! Stop it! Please!
It's better in a way. I love that it even says in the corner, it's like, oh, Helvana resisted Dragonrend. Yeah, she did. Imagine if I had somehow taught her Dragonrend, and that's the only shout she'll ever know. Can you hear me? Are you okay?
I can hear you. Or at least something that sounds like you. I'm okay. That was very painful. But I'm okay now, I think. And I feel... I feel different. I can't explain it, I just feel different. Does that mean it worked?
Maybe try a shout?
That might be a bit premature. I still feel pretty woozy. But later, maybe.
Damn it.
I think we're done here. Time will tell if this was worth the effort. Hey, thanks for everything. No one's ever gone out of their way like this for me before. I really appreciate it. Oh, and could you not mention this to Sledric? When the time's right, I'll tell myself. But first, I want to try practicing some shouts. You should head back to the college. Don't forget the sword. Bye now.
Yeah, I'm really glad I came back into this. I'm glad I reloaded to do this. But for the next couple parts, I believe once again it's going to be either through part of Part 9 or most of Part 9. What you'll be seeing is what I recorded before I learned that there was this side quest for Helvana. The main thing being that for me to go back and to re-record and re-edit all of that would take probably a few hours, because I was also doing the Emissary quests and I was doing a lot of the Bardic duels. So instead, I'll just take my time and redo all of that off screen, off video, not recorded, to get caught up. But I have a feeling that this could impact the later stages of the story. I have a feeling that Helvana possibly being able to shout could have an impact maybe later on. So I'm glad I came back for it, even if it means having to do a couple hours of replaying through what I need to get back to where I am, just on my own, you know? But from here, we're gonna cut back. We're gonna come back to doing the favors, doing the tasks for the rest of the professors, and like I said, everything up through what is essentially the third Emissary quest. But I'll also make a mention in the future, in whatever episode it is, when everything's kind of all caught up again. Now, one last thing before we get back to it. I am really glad that I did her quest. When I returned to the Sanctuary to give Sledric the sword, there was a new line of dialogue now, where he explains that Helvana is his daughter. So I'm really glad I'm redoing this. I'm really glad that I will finish the main story, finish Sledric's questline, with the Resonance side quest completed. It really feels like I unintentionally missed a pretty significant part in my first time trying to play through this. Master Valerine? Mistress, not master.
You've actually caught me at a good moment. How may I help?
Sledric sent me. You have information for him?
First Helvana, and now he sends you. Does the old goat truly lack the courage to speak to me himself? Pathetic.
Yeah, you really don't like each other.
Yes, I have what Sledric wants. Or rather, I know someone who does. But now a question for you. Why should I hand over this knowledge to one of Sledric's lackeys? What possible good would it do for me,
I was waiting for it to say, like, heartening, dramatic, helping him's the right thing to do. Why the hatred for Sledric?
Has he not told you how he waltzed into the college some 10 years past, proclaiming himself master vocalist, usurping my title? Only 2 years later, relinquished the role to Dean Pantia, as if all along it meant nothing to him. And of course, she was all too willing to accept. Have you heard her sing? A master vocalist she is not.
I've yet to hear you sing.
It's an insult, all of it. And I will never forgive him for that. Or Pantia, either, for that matter.
The last one was a warm-up.
If you gave the knowledge, he would be indebted to you.
You're right. I hadn't thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
I could dangle this over him for weeks, perhaps even months. Poor Sledrick, owing me a favor? Yes. I know the man who'll have the information he needs. His name is Hemid, or as he is otherwise known, the Librarian. A spellcaster of some renown, currently on pilgrimage to the Mages' College in Winterhold, last I heard.
Alright.
Of course, being the Archmage to that college, I'm sure you'll have no problem finding Hemid. That's all I have to say. Be sure to let Sledrick know he's now indebted to me.
Will do. Well, I mean, I wouldn't wait too long, because I don't know if Sledrick's gonna survive this quest, if I'm being completely honest. I have a feeling we're gonna defeat Volgafsinan and Sledrick is going to just fade away. It makes sense that she would know that I'm an Archmage. 1, because I just wrote a ballad about it, and 2, well, it's kind of her job to be in the know. I do want to take more emissary quests from her as well. But I really want to do all of the 3 tasks from Sledrick, and then we might go and talk to the professors. We might do maybe another bardic duel, another emissary quest, stuff like that. If anything, I'm kind of surprised that this wasn't another thing of Sledrick saying like, oh, go do some other stuff, and then I'll have the next task for you. Hello?
Oh, Archmage. A pleasure to meet you. I must say you've such a marvelous collection of books here.
Do you know of Volgafsinan? Who are you?
Hemid Thunderstaff. Although some refer to me as the Librarian, due to my love of books, you understand.
I would go with your real name, Hemid Thunderstaff. It's like, damn, alright. You could be a porn star with that name.
Volgafsinan. That's a dragon's moniker, is it not? Translates to horrific, ghostly minstrel, I believe. Depending on the dialect, of course.
Not the name I expected.
But I'm sorry. I fear I'm not familiar with that particular dragon. Well, if there's nothing else, I really should return to my reading.
Well, Mistress Valerine of the Bards College said you would know.
Did she? I know of who you speak. We met briefly once. But I don't understand why she'd think I have the knowledge you seek. I have a passing know-how of dragons, yes. But I'm far from an expert.
So what you're telling me...
Again, I'm sorry. But I'm quite busy and have no time for these queries. So, if you wouldn't mind...
So what you're telling me is that Mistress Valerine, wanted a favor from Sledrick for nothing. Perhaps if we were to speak more, it may spark recollection.
Perhaps, but I really am very preoccupied. I've a limited window in which to study the many tomes here.
All I'm saying is, if the Archmage asks for your help, you help. To read and learn something all should aspire to. Books offer windows to worlds past and fantastical. Time is so fleeting, is it not? So much to do, so few hours. Books hold secrets. Secrets sometimes better left undisturbed. I'm gonna go dramatic.
I suppose. It would be nice if I had arrived here sooner. Less time wasted on the road.
I don't think that was right.
I tell you, I do not look forward to the journey back home. Perhaps I should postpone my return. Travel to Cyrodiil instead.
Why the rush? Stay here. A grand idea and indubitably a chance for adventure. Surely it is not the destination, but the journey that matters. Ah, the road where it leads us, who can say but fate itself? It is not the destination, but the journey.
There's wisdom in your words, truly. Why, some of my greatest revelations were found by such serendipity.
All right, we got him.
Tell me, are you familiar with the books of Athgala Jonolith? He penned A History of Winterhold. Unearthing his work was what first brought me here.
I admire your passion. His work clearly inspired you. His penned words must have profoundly touched your soul. You speak as a man in love. Oh, to be so moved by words alone. Knowledge should be hoarded, not openly shared in books. No, why would you ever say that to him? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, it has clearly inspired you.
Well, his writings were unconventional. It forced me to consider alternative perspectives. Quite invigorating, really. I must say, it has been quite pleasant speaking with you. It has reminded me of my first visit to Winterhold, where I presented my paper on... Presented my paper on dragons!
There you go.
That's right! It was based off of the writings of Jonolith. Your mistress Valerine was there. And I did speak of a dragon. Vokulon Lavas, the vile spirit singer. But in hindsight, that may have been a mistranslation. Jonolith may have actually been speaking of your Volgoth Sanan, the horrific ghostly minstrel. Yes, I think I may indeed have the information you seek.
Please tell me what you know. Yeah, it does seem like doing all three of these, and each professor has you undertake a task that pertains to their discipline too, so I do like that, but each one will help to fill in the picture to paint a clearer picture of where Volgoth Sanan is.
While not mentioned in my paper, assuming my mistranslation theory was correct, there were multiple references to a dragon emerging from the sea. Off the coast of Dawnstar, I think it was. Yes, I'm sure of it. Perhaps this was Volgoth Sanan, the dragon having a lair out there somewhere. Well, I hope you find that information useful. Now, as delightful as this has been, I really should get back to my reading.
Alright, there we go. And now that's what? 2 bardic inspiration for me as well. So, all this we had to play an instrument. Valerine, Emissary. So that just leaves Tyriana, which is gonna mean most likely dungeon diving. So the one that I'm the most familiar with.
Ah, a new face. Wait, no, an old one.
It's actually just that all of the non-human professors just think all the humans look alike. Sledrick sent me. You have information for him?
Sledrick. Ah, yes. He wanted records of an ancient dragon. I remember. Strange fellow, that one. Well-versed in the past, but I've never seen him study such things. Very curious, if you ask me. Very curious indeed.
Don't worry about it.
Now, what is it you wanted?
Don't worry about it. He doesn't need to study. He's lived it. And she goes, what? Like nothing. Nothing at all. Sledrick has sent me records of an ancient dragon, remember?
Ah, of course.
How are your
yes.
students coming?
Oh, God.
Volgoth Sanan,
Oh,
was it?
that's tiny.
Fascinating history with that one. Not at all what you'd expect from a dragon of that era.
None of the others can hold a
Here,
candle to her.
you should read this.
Especially not that
Griff the Conceited penned a memoir of
Try not to
sorts.
play
It
favorites
mentions
with these
Volgoth Sanan several
It does a
times.
disservice to the whole
I took
class.
notes. But
Yes,
wait,
Headmaster.
that's not what Sledrick asked for, is it? No. No, it was something else.
We need records of his possible locations.
Say again. Location. A Volgoth Sanan? Oh, there's no way to know that. Dragons are very secretive of such things, you know.
I'm familiar.
Unless, yes, that is his area of expertise. Very knowledgeable of such things. Maybe he would know.
Who?
Tarrant. Yes! A historian he is, much like my partner Germaine, only he's much less pleasant. Tarrant, I mean, not Germaine.
I appreciate the
I
clarification.
do believe Tarrant is visiting the Temple of Dibella in Markarth. If anyone would know a dragon's last recorded location, it would be him.
All right.
Now, do excuse me. I believe I was in the middle of searching for my quill.
Oh, do you think you lost in the middle of that bread? Because I don't think you're gonna find it in there. Hello there.
What is it? Can't you see I'm busy here?
You and Tyriana and bread. Just Is that where your friendship comes from, a love of bread? I didn't mean to disturb, I'll be on my way. What is it you're doing here?
Research! I'm on the trail of a rather elusive relic. If I could just get my hands on it, I know I could prove one of my theories true.
I'd like to help with that. Now I want to know what the relic is, and who might you be?
I'm Territ, a historian. A quite famous historian, I'll have you know. Why, I've travelled across all of Tamriel. Met many important people, which in turn makes me important. So unless you've a reason for wasting my time...
In turn, that makes me important. I'm not sure it's a transitive property. I need to know the location of a dragon named Volgafsanon.
A dragon, you say? Just so happens dragons are an area I'm well versed in.
I'll be the judge of that.
Volgafsanon. Yes, I'm familiar with that name, and I might know where that particular dragon was said to roost. Question is, what do you offer in exchange for this knowledge?
Not punching you directly in the mouth. You said you were busy. Is it something I can help you with? Yeah, I'm gonna go through with that.
I suppose you could. Perform a task and I'll give you the information you want from me. Alright, here's what I'd have you do. There is a relic here I must see.
Oh no.
But I'm forbidden to enter the lower chambers of this temple.
This again.
So you're to retrieve this relic and bring it to me. Simplicity itself. I'll return it once I'm done. I just want to study it first.
It's not the first
You
time
must
I've
bring
done
me a chalice
this.
made of gold, inset with many jewels. And try not to get yourself caught. I don't need the trouble.
All I'm saying is if I have to go on a quest to find another Sybil of Dibella, I'm just
Yes?
gonna say it's like, you already got one. Don't be pushy. Alright, just sneaky sneaks. I'm surprised I didn't already just have the key for that, but who knows. I don't know if I'll actually get in trouble this time around. I don't know if that would be an issue at all, but I'm just sneaking, I'm just being quiet, and like I said, I do not want to have to find another Sybil for you guys. And back we go.
Ah, you have it.
Not so loud.
The chalice of Opus.
Not so loud.
I've already seen cravings that may prove my theories right. Ah!
All right,
Marvelous.
Use your indoor voice,
You
please.
held up your end of the bargain. So I'll tell you what I know. Some 800 years past, the dragon known as Volgafsanon was a frequent sight along the coastlines of Skyrim.
Uh-huh.
Most scholars of the time speculated that Volgafsanon made his lair somewhere out in the Sea of Ghosts. My own hypothesis puts the location somewhere north of Dawnstar. There, you have the information you wanted. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've a relic to examine.
So they all kind of lead you to the same conclusion. I wouldn't say that any one of them gives you more information than the other, but I wanted to see each of them. I wanted to see what all of them had to say. I know I technically just did an emissary thing for the librarian, but I want to talk to her.
Emissary?
I would like to get another
How are your students
emissary
coming along?
assignment.
I do indeed. Now that I've satisfied my need for local knowledge, I think it worthwhile
I'm
to
sorry
expand the
break it
reach
to
of
you,
my
Charlotte,
little network.
but students are an
I want you to
unfortunate
talk to
necessity for
Tanhana,
knowledge.
a young Redguard girl working at the city stables.
Yes, Headmaster.
She spends much of her day chatting with the carriage drivers, exchanging a wealth of tales from across the land. I'd like you to convince her to share her stories with us.
Sounds simple enough. Do you have any more information on her?
She is, I am told, a figurative open book,
Sounds easy then.
reveling in heartwarming tales and gripping sagas, almost as much as she
Excuse me,
indulges in the
Professor
chatter of the
Germain?
roads.
Have you a moment to talk
So-
about something?
Of course.
Dramatic
What is it?
and
I was
heartening.
wondering, might I borrow
Why
that
do you believe
book
this to
you
be
were
a
speaking
useful
about?
source of
Children
information?
of the Sky?
Surely you've traveled on those beastly
Yours by
carriages
day.
at least once.
Well,
Oh,
quite
thank
often,
you.
They
yeah.
may be
you
uncomfortable,
by
but there
tomorrow.
is something about the rhythm of the horse's hooves, the
How are your
creaking
students
wheels
coming
and
along?
sedate pace. It's that something that seems to cause passengers and carriage drivers alike to prattle inanely, revealing much that should perhaps remain hidden.
Try not to play favorite.
Uber
What's
drivers,
more,
huh?
should I ever wish to disseminate some piece of information, I would need only pass it along to one of these cart drivers, and that information would be spread throughout the land.
Alright, I'm sure that I can persuade her.
Good. Remember my teachings, and I have every confidence that you will succeed.
I don't have every confidence, I have some confidence.
Oh,
But I
that's
feel like that's a little bit
wonderful.
more realistic. I feel like I
Students will be
gotta
very happy with
keep
new
my
books, I'm
own
sure.
expectations in
And,
check.
Perhaps
Hello?
Sorry, I'm taking a break. I wasn't shirking, honest. I'm just catching up on some reading is all.
I don't see a book.
Did you want something?
Oh, me? Oh, nothing at all. Fear not. Tales of dauntless heroes fortify the soul.
Yes, that's right. Some stories make me feel like a giant. There are sad ones and scary ones too, but the hero always saves the day. Usually.
You know, those hero rise,
But
hero
books
fall.
aren't the only place to find stories. Some of the best tales are the ones that were never written down.
It'd be a shame if they were never written down then. Hold on. Cause I don't know if there's supposed to be something at the bottom here. It's showing that I can scroll down or go down more. No. Well, bards tell such tales in rapturing taverns with instrument and voice.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I don't have much time to spend in taverns, but when I do, it's just as you say. Mostly, I make do with stories from carriage drivers. They hear so much on their travels, and while I tend to their horses, so often they'll tell those interesting tales.
Well, tales are for sharing, and I know a bard who'd be elated to do so. Even a bard would be captivated by stories spoken by your voice. Okay, if I go, like, all the way down, then I can see, like, the third one here? Hold on, oh god. A conduit of epic tales you our bards would trade. Their own in turn. That's what she wants. She wants more tales. She wants to hear more of them.
Oh my! You say I'm a... but they'd really want to share stories? With me?
Indubitably.
Perhaps you're right. The things I hear should be shared with others, to help write new stories to be sung throughout the ages. Besides, sharing tales with a bard sounds a lot more fun than dealing with horses all day. I think I'll start writing some down right now.
Have you talked to horses before? They're dreadfully dull. I know there's the one lady outside the Windhelm stable that just talks about how terribly dull they are. I feel like that was fairly
Divine
successful.
smile on you, friend.
But it makes sense. She loves stories. She loves tales of heroes. So, you know, making it much more dramatic, I think was the right call for her. Oh, you? Sorry, Olvis Helvana. I know he's got a crush on her. He sleeps like right next to her. Damn. Sorry. Of course, Mistress Valerine's in the good room.
So, how did you fare at the stables?
Pretty good. It's done. Tanhana is ready to share all she hears from the carriage drivers.
That is good news. I shall have to pay her a visit before she finds some other bard to listen to her tales. Here is your reward. Well earned. Well, now that concludes this exchange, but I may have more work for you later, if you're inclined. Until then.
Because that's the thing. Each and every quest from her has to be kind of like handmade, handwritten, so it's not a Radiant quest system. It is like its own set, fully written quest line, the same way that Sledric is his, and whatnot. It's more so the bardic duels that are a little bit more of a Radiant system, because I think it's just kind of like randomly generated of, oh, we're gonna just put, you know, a bard of this race in this tavern at this time, and then you just go through and it's at least partially luck-based, like what lines you'll get, what insults you'll get, if they're gonna be able to counter them and whatnot. So that's where it becomes a little bit more RNG, I guess you could say.